If you're on the replay, say hey. Hit subscribe. Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Saint Artist. We're going to do Saint makeup. And I'm going to be doing the October shade of the month. I'm doing it all week, so we're going to be using that today. And I'm torn on the color I want to use today with it because there's two really good ones. And I think today I'm going to keep it simple because I don't want to live like last week where it went on forever. As always, bear with me because always the first 10 minutes can be rough. Okay, I did have somebody ask to use Moscow, which is a really pretty orange color. Maybe I'll do that one. There's one that I just think it deserves its own tutorial, and that's using Aries, and I think it was Stardust. I think that would be so pretty. So I think I'm gonna keep that one and make it its own tutorial. But as everybody's getting here, if you're on the replay, you know, say hi, where are you? If you have fun with this, hit subscribe. Love to have you here. I do a live every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Good morning, Desiree. I'm gonna try to keep this in 45 minutes. That's probably gonna happen. That could happen. I'm gonna start my makeup now, but good morning. It's October. It's the first October live, yes? I think it is. Yes, so I got my spider mug. I like having a good fun mug for my Monday lives. The video's pixelating. Great. Great. Well, we'll wait for maybe, I've never had mine pixelate before. Well, hopefully it'll sort itself out. That's all I can say. I am going to be, where'd I put it? Oh, I did a video with this, so all my makeup's in a different palette. You know, I'm actually gonna do my live talking about, okay, had somebody message me and they were asking about minimalistic makeup. So if you're not a makeup person, but you want to cover hyperpigmentation, scarring, I mean, I got stuff. I'm going to do a really great minimalistic makeup. And hold on just a sec. And I'm gonna do a minimalistic makeup on my face, and we're gonna use Spell, the shade of the month. This is such a good color. And then I also have my new favorite setting spray. This stuff is so good. I use it. It's a prep mist, the Plush Prep Mist, which I guess surprised a lot of people because I'm oily, and the Plush Prep Mist is meant for people who have, I guess, drier skin. It's supposed to be hydrating. I find that the Fixate makes me too dewy. This, I think, is just Saint's regular setting spray. They call it Fixate now. And this one is new. This has hyaluronic acid in it. I really love this, the way it feels on my skin. But first we're gonna do eyes. I always do my eyes first because it gives people time to get on, but it also is going to, I don't like doing my eyes last. I get fallout and I already have discoloration around my eyes. I've been using the Babe Lash serum, and it's been discoloring. It just turns it a tinge of brown around my eyes. So I'm gonna do my eyes first because I wanna cover this stuff, and any fallout, I don't want it to mature my eyes. I mean, darkness gives my eyes a bit of a sunken in look. And so I'm gonna do that. All right, first things first, I've been really loving the Singens. I talk about it all the time. Cows are really cool. Hi. I'm sorry that you just had surgery. That sucks. Or it's good. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna do Singens. This is actually an eyeshadow. It sets really well, but it cancels out the darkness on my eyes that I've been getting with, I think that the lash serum is really good, but again, it's just discoloring my eyes, and that's not good. I don't like it. Okay, the screen is lagging. I don't think that's on my end. So I'm doing some like filler stuff right now so people's sites can sync and plug. Lexi, hello. All right, so we're gonna get into this. We're going to just move my primer from lash to brown. This is gonna cancel some of the darkness and some of it, and it's going to give me a good base so it doesn't crease where my eyes obviously crease. I mean, our lids have creases and you don't want the eyeshadow to affect that. I need a little more. Today is, I don't know. All right, bye Lexi. I don't know why it's lagging. I don't think it's on my end. I got all my bars. I'm on my Wi-Fi. It's all, sorry. Okay, but I'm just gonna add a touch more because it is really dark at my lash line. I'm gonna use this to cover it. And then I'm going to be using one of my favorites lately. It's Paris as my base. I always put a powder base down. And yeah. Let's see. I don't know why it's laggy. I don't know. It's not my phone making it laggy. I don't know what to do. Hold on just a second. I can try one more thing. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Stand by. Okay. Let me know if that worked. I can't move it. I mean, this is my desk. I can't move it. But did that help? Now it's good. Perfect. Okay. Yay. Okay, good. All right. So there you go. Okay. So welcome back. It's not laggy anymore. Okay. That's weird. All I did was turn it off and on again. Weird. Okay. So when you're here, say hi. I'd love to know where you're from. And I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. We're going to do our makeup. I do everyday makeup. So this isn't going to be, ooh, Brazil. Oh, I had exchange students stay here once from Brazil. That was so fun. I do everyday makeup. So this isn't going to be a high glam. I mean, it's mom makeup. Okay, I have dreams of running away from my family and going to like North Carolina, South Carolina. Like I don't know if it's a Nicholas Sparks thing. All right. So let's see. All right. Yes, if all else fails, IT. Yes. Okay. Oh, one of my videos is ready to be uploaded. Okay. We are going to do the eyes. So this is the colors that I'm going to do today. This is just going to be my base. You're really not even going to see it. I'm going to have Drift. I always have Drift. I have Leo and I have Spell. No, what is this one? This is not Leo. This is Moscow. Moscow is going to be my shimmer. I think I am going to use, I know it's not Leo because Leo's right here. I am going to use Leo as my transition color. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to do Bubba. I need a bigger palette. Do I have a bigger? There we go. Let's move these to a bigger palette. This is ridiculous to have them just laying around. But I'm doing Spell all week. So if there's colors you want to see with Spell, let me know. And I will put them on the list because I want to spend a full week just playing with this color. I don't know when Philly is coming back. I would say that Spell is a really great medium between Cocoa and Philly. Philly picks up really easily, so you can get it out of hand quick. Whereas Cocoa, I feel like sometimes I struggle to blend it. I'm gonna do, I want to try a different color. I always do Leo. So I'm trying to think of a different color to put with Spell. Bubba's not far off, truly. I don't know which one I want to do. I did use Bubba as a couple different shades. Ooh, let's do Claire. Let's do pink. Pink? Okay. We're going to do pink. And that's going to be the transition color. It's just a little bit, so you have Paris and then you have Claire. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about minimalistic makeup because I always do fairly full coverage. I'm a full coverage girl. So I am a full coverage girl. Thank you so much. I never said I was ugly. I wear makeup because I like it. But if you have been a full coverage makeup person, I mean, I would put on full coverage foundation, concealer. I would set it with a Bare Minerals powder that had coverage on top of that also. And then I would go in and put all the other stuff on, and I'd pull it really flat. My makeup looked really thick. And so they're always back. It is what it is. We just got to move on and ignore them. But okay, with Saint, it's 80% pigmentation, and I always like to put this out there first. It's 80% pigmentation, and then I'm going to start my makeup because I do want to do this fairly quickly today. Cleaning tile. Traditional makeup is 18% pigmentation, which is why it looks heavy when you're adding all those other things. So you're able to get the coverage you want with less makeup on your face. And that's just because it's just really big. Plus you're not digging through a bag, so it saves time. It's all in one place. And I'm going to do essentially one layer. I'm going to use my contour as my corrector today. And I'm going to show how you can do that, because there's some people that just don't want all the steps. They just want it easy, but they want to cover some of the things but still feel like themselves. So that's what I'm going to do today. All right, eyeshadow. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This could turn out very dark. This could be very, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm going to use the smudge brush today. This is one of my favorite brushes. I'm going to go in on this wider, larger end, and I'm going to go into Paris, and I'm just going to prep. I like having a nice base of powder on my eyes. I think it makes your eyeshadow, or it makes it able to blend your eyeshadow better, whereas it can get a little sticky. I'm going to pull this way out and around because I do a lot of work on this area of my eye because I am 43 years old. And so for me, this little area, it just keeps getting a little heavier every day. And so I build out here to give lift. My goal is to take this and try to make it look like it isn't there without having to cut it off because I don't want to. I don't want to cut it off. So we're going to go in. We're going to stay with that big end. I'm going to go into Drift. I'm going to press into it, and I'm just going to pat this at the base of my brow. And this is just going to give me a little peekaboo shimmer. It also that shimmer gives it a little bit of a kick. I'm not pushing 40. I'm in 40. I'm living in the 40s. I don't do any of the injectables. I'm going with the age gracefully method until I'm not. it's all easy up until everything starts sagging down, and we don't want to do that. I'm trying to get this situated easy. Okay. My birthday's coming up next month, so I'm going to be 44. I'm going to be in the 40s, living in the 40s, seasoned. Is it seasoned at 44? I'm in the fried green tomatoes of my life, which is I'm too old to be young and I'm too young to be old. And I look 50, thank you. Not everybody gets to be that old. So thanks, you're charming. You should go somewhere else. Okay, so the next color I'm going to go into is I'm going to tap into Claire, and I'm going to use that as my transition. Usually, I don't care if he says that. It's a guy. He's in a makeup video. Who cares? Okay, so I'm going to use this as a transition color. Usually I use warms. I like warms with cooler tones. It's like peanut butter jelly, okay? I'm gonna use I'm gonna stay on this big end. I'm keeping a cleaning towel just to clean in between. If you haven't gotten one of these, I think there's a mini available, so you don't have to, you could actually add another eyeshadow if you wanted to. So you can get a big one, a small one. There's two available. Yes, I get stressed out. So, let's see. I live with high anxiety. Have for a long time. All right. I'm going to take Claire, which is right here, and we're just going to pop this way up here. And this is just going to give a little peekaboo color. This is just going to add a little bit of an illusion of a lift without darkening my eye, because I find that sometimes if I go too dark, it can mature my eyes. And I always pull straight out. And so we're on the brow bone, and I hold my brush up and down, and I just tap this over and out. And this is coming pretty far out onto that brow bone. You can see the shadow of my natural brow bone going in. All right. And so we do that because it just gives a little punch. Do you see how it just adds that touch of lift? And I try to, my eyebrow has a mind of its own, but I do try to rest as much as I can, but I focus a lot of my color out here. And I talk about this all the time. And it's, to me, I like showing different ways of applying this, but I do stick to, I'm a creature of comfort and I stick to what I know. But if you try different methods of eyeshadow application, you're going to find one that works for your face, because all of our faces are shaped differently. And finding one that works with your face shape and makes you feel your best when your makeup is on. Once you find those placements, do you see how it just added a little lift and it gave me a little more real estate just by bringing it out here? All right. When you find your placement, all you have to do is trade out a color. Sticking with the general concept of having that soft shimmer, perfect. Then you go and find your favorite transition color. You can change that out and find which ones complement you the best in your opinion. There's a lot of people that have asked me if I've ever done you send your picture and it takes a look at everything and it tells you your season and what colors you're supposed to wear. I have a hard time being told what to do. It gives me anxiety. But okay, so I'm going to take Spell on the short end and I'm going to pop that outside of my eye here. So this does not pick up the way Philly picks up. If I were to pick up Philly, which is a very similar brown, it would be really, really dark. And I am going to, and this is why I like doing my eyeshadow first. You can get real messy and you can put this anywhere, okay? You can mess it up, let it fall because our makeup's not on, so it's not gonna mix and make our under eyes look more mature. But I like having makeup that I could just go to the store with and I don't look like, oh wow, she really dressed up for the store. I could answer the door, I could go to work, I'd go pick up my kids at school. But we can just do those things, and I like a good soft color, and Spell is one of those colors that we can punch up and make nice and dark, but you could also continue to blend it. And there's just some things where you need to work a little more at the blending. And eyeshadow is one of those things. There's some parts of your makeup that may take the most, but they need the most work. And I think a good blend on your eyeshadow is one of those things you should take the extra time on. Same with mascara. I think mascara deserves a little extra time. It's not really something you can rush if you're wanting to have a fuller, longer fuller lashes that have length. You're gonna need to do a little more work. And I like a good soft blend on my eyeshadow, which means it takes a little more blending, as you can tell. And using a denser brush helps with that, I think. If you have a lot of movement on your eyes, tapping helps too. But that's what I want it to look like. And I'm leaving my lid pretty open because I want to open up my eyes. And if you pull it all the way down to the lash and all over the lid, it can make your eye look smaller. There are methods that I do where I show that, because I do think what I like and what somebody else likes, they're going to be different, and that's okay. It doesn't make anybody wrong. The way we wear our makeup is very personal, and it's not up to anybody else to tell us how we should wear our makeup, if we should wear makeup, if we need to smile more. Any of those things are their opinion of us, and that plays no part in our makeup. All right, good morning, Sharon. Good morning. But to me, makeup gives me the confidence. And if somebody says that's wrong, that's okay. That's okay. We're all human and we all are entitled to our own opinions. And I'm never gonna tell somebody their opinion is wrong, even if it's an opinion of me. That's fine. That's fine. But I know for me, and this is something I've learned through time. Before, in my early 30s, definitely in my 20s, I would really let somebody's opinion get to me. But now it's like, if I feel good right now, then I'm doing it right. And that's it. My boundaries, my makeup, my clothes, any of that, it's up to me. It's up to me, and it takes a long time to change your mindset on something like that. I just get on here and do this every time. All right, I'm gonna go into Drift first, and I'm gonna use my finger because it picks it up a lot easier. And I'm gonna press this on my inner lid here, just on the inside. And I'm gonna press this up towards the brow, just like that. I'm getting my nails done today because they are way too long for me. I don't like these long. I like the shape. They're just, if I could see them this way, they're too long. I am not a super long nail person, but anyways, today's a nail day. Thank you. I think this was a TJ Maxx original. I'm not sure. I love it. It's October. I can only drink out of it in October. I don't know. You have those mugs? Okay, the next color I'm going to go into is Moscow. This is a beautiful fall color, and I'm going to use my finger with this one also because it just picks up shimmers. So I prefer putting my lid shimmers on with a finger because it just transfers over really good. And I'm just going to press that on the lid, and I'm going to let it work with drift. I'm going to add a little more drift. But it's just pretty. It's soft, it adds a color, it adds a soft shimmer. Soft shimmers are great, especially if you have maturing lids and there's a lot of texture. Texture can work to your benefit when you're playing with shimmers because it almost punches up the flecks without having super flecky eyeshadow. So it makes it fun. Okay, I'm gonna take an etch brush. This brush is, oh good. If you haven't gotten this brush yet, it's really, really good. And I'm gonna get it wet. I have a ton of this setting spray left, so I'm gonna use this just to get the shorter end wet, and this is gonna punch up Spell. I just get it a little damp, just like that. Wipe it off, okay. Drift on repeat. Drift is so pretty. It's a really pretty illuminator if you ever wanna put illuminator on here or here on your Cupid's bow, tip of your nose. Drift is a really good option where you're not adding. I'm not a big fan, and maybe I'm not a big fan of shimmer on my face. I don't use any of our powder shimmers. Occasionally, if I do use one of our illuminators, I will use a cream, but I really don't use a lot of shimmers on my face. If I'm feeling fancy, I'll add just like, I like using drift because it's so light and subtle. It's very, it does more than one thing. I don't know. Okay, so the brush is wet and we're just gonna, if you can tell, do you see those little shiny spots on the eyeshadow? That's where I do this a lot. It makes it into a really pretty soft eyeliner. Tap off the excess, and I do a tiny but mighty wing. Everybody's like, barely can see it. That's the point, because I'm using it to create an illusion of lift on my eye. And so I'm going to only put this on the outer quarter, and I'm just going to go on the lash line, and I'm gonna go a quarter of the way in, and then I could start building it up and out. And I could just tap and go as I need. But I just create the lift. I don't come off of the outer corner. I have, stop, there we go. I come up right where the lash stops. And I just bring this up, and I do this really thick because when I add my liner that I love, I want this to be soft around it, and it just softens the eye a little bit. But I stay within the fold. So where my eye comes down, do you see how right here? From this direction, I don't look hooded. From here, you see this coming down. This is my 40s right here. Okay, this is where my 40s show. And I keep that wing within that fold, because if I let it come outside of that fold, the way this pulls down, it's gonna pull my eye down, and I want lift. And so adding that depth right here, adding that depth right up there is going to add some lift. It's gonna give the illusion of lift. Okay, I'm actually gonna not do this eye yet, and I'm gonna do all my favorite things to do the eye lift, because it's one of the things I've been playing with a lot, because my eyes have just, there's been something missing in my makeup. So I've been playing with my makeup, trying to figure it out, watching different tutorials. I always say, I use Saint Makeup because I love it, but I also teach method more than I talk about product. And so if you can take what I do, say you don't want to try Saint Makeup, that's fine. But what if you take the methods with your makeup? You can absolutely do that. All right, I'm gonna take a Maybelline Tattoo Studio, not fancy, and I am gonna waterline the top. This is just going to give my upper eye definition, but it's also going to help give my lashes some fullness. And then I press into the lash line right out here where I added that touch of liner, shadow liner. I don't know. I'm gonna grab the etch brush one more time, and we're gonna just add a little bit of spell here. I don't bring my eyeliner all the way across. I skip the middle because, again, I'm trying to open up my eyes. And as I'm getting older, they don't look as open. All right, we're taking Stila Stay All Day liquid liner. I like this because it has the felt tip. And I'm gonna do my little baby wing more, and I'm staying kind of within that spell wing, but I like the extra depth and definition. Again, the way you do your makeup, super personal to what you want. And I just build this up. And if I need to add more spell, I will, because it just got a little out of hand. But I'm just gonna keep this wing within, and then I can, oh sugar, there we go. We're gonna grab that spell with the etch brush because I just made it a little bigger than I like. And we're just gonna tap over the top and just give it a soft finish, but still letting it be punchy. Does that make sense? Adding that softness. And then we're just gonna tap her in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Because I keep this bottom part open. I'm gonna show you right now what I do. We're gonna grab a brightening highlight. I'm gonna grab what brush am I gonna use? I want my blend brush, but I can't grab it right off the get. So I'm gonna go into White Peach, which is my brightening, and we're just gonna clean up and cover this darkness I get from my lash serum. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm really focusing on cleaning this outer corner. This brush is just a little bigger than I like, but that's okay. But we're just gonna clean this up. And do you see how it changed the shape of my eye? Just bringing that darkness that's right here and covering it, and it changes the shape of the eye. We're gonna go in to that etch brush. And we're gonna grab a little bit of spell. We're gonna go right here in the middle, and we're going to keep it in the middle. We're gonna keep this part open and this part open. And I'm just gonna I like a smoky eye, but when I go full smoky and I bring it around, it closes my eye up and it makes it look more mature. Adding brightness right in this area here gives it a little bit more of a youthful look, in my opinion. It's how I like it, and it gives it this really nice lift and openness. This is a stolen method. I didn't come up with it myself. All right, I'm gonna take the square end. We're gonna go into that. I'm gonna use my main highlight just a little bit here, and we are going to waterline. This is gonna open up the eye. I like using a more neutral color than a bright white color. And then I'm just gonna give myself a little lift here by flicking up. There we go. And then we can go in and add mascara. But do you see the way that my eye looks a little wider and has a little bit more of a lift? That little bit right there is all you need. The little bit. But when I say you should spend a little extra time on your mascara, this is why. I don't bring my eyeliner all the way across. There's none in this area here except on the waterline. But once you do the waterline, add a little to the inner corner, have that little punchiness on the outside. Spending that extra time building up volume at the base is going to give the illusion that your eyeliner does go all the way across. So you still get that eye definition without closing up your eye. So wiggling at the root and really building up, and then pull up. So wiggle, 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 pull. This will give you that volume you want in your lashes, right here. And then while you're putting some on the lower lash line, that's gonna tack up a little bit. You can use a fan. You can fan it with your hand. That's fine. And then you just build the length by flicking your mascara onto the tips. just like that. And that's gonna give you, it's gonna give you the illusion that the eyeliner goes all the way across. It's gonna give you volume, it's gonna give you lift, and it's gonna change the shape of your eye. All right, we're gonna do the other eye. Going into the other eye. What have I done? I don't know where I am. Okay, taking that setting spray, I'm gonna get my brush a little bit more wet because it does dry up a bit. All right, we're gonna grab that spell and we're gonna do that little wing on the outer quarter. Outer quarter. I think people think I say corner. It's quarter. And we're just gonna build that tiny but mighty wing within the fold. And you can bring this extra out because I know my other eye just got a little extra punchy. And then we're gonna get this inner edge. I'm basically just filling in between my inner corner and where my lashes start growing because my lashes have stopped growing on the inside. And then we're gonna waterline. But once you know your placement of things, it goes very quickly. I talk a lot and I spend a little extra time on my eyes, but we'll see. This is definitely not gonna be as long of a live as last week. Last week was an amazing live filled with really amazing people and we had really good conversation and it lasted way too long. It was a really long live, but we had a lot of really good talks. But from that live came the conversation with somebody who wanted, the words they used were, I want to cover the things, but I don't want a lot of makeup. Which made me think, okay, minimalistic makeup, which I think Saint is a minimalistic makeup, but if you're not a minimalist, it's that too. And I like that one palette can be more than one thing. I like something that does more than one thing. It's the name of my game. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel out that darkness. We're gonna add that little bit. All right, that little bit right in the middle, giving us a smoky eye that's also open. We're gonna grab some of my main highlight. I am using amber right now. My skin tone is changing now that summer's over, and I feel like every day it's a different color. Every day is a different color. So just giving my eye some of that waterline to open my eye up. And then just cleaning up right here. And some mascara. But spending that extra time on the mascara. I always say, spend the time blending that eyeshadow so that you're happy with it. And then spend that time on the mascara. Because mascara can change the whole look. You can think, oh, my eyeshadow's too much. This is too much, too much, too much. Then you have mascara and it just plays it way down. I've had people say that to me before. They're like, do you think that's too much? Say, it might be. Let's put some mascara on and see. And then they put mascara on and they say, oh, it's good. It's good. All right, so just building up that volume at the base. Gonna get a little bit down here on my lower lash line and then flick. Feel a cough coming on. I think I'm getting sick. It is the season. Kids are in school. Life's rough. Okay, so we're gonna get into the face now. It's gonna change. My eyes are gonna look way better at the end. Okay, so Saint has new setting sprays coming out. There's two. This is the Plush Prep Mist. Don't let the name fool you because you can use this as an after makeup also, and that's what I use it for. And then there is the Fixate Setting Spray. You can also use this as a prep. You can buy it as a collection if you want, and it comes with a new blotting powder that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna show you all of my texture when I apply this because I'm able to do everything I've told you not to do for the last 4 years. The last 4 years that I've been doing tutorials on YouTube, I've been saying, do not apply powder to your texture. And then they came out with this blotting powder, and I was told that you could apply it to your texture. So I did, and it was awesome. There is a live in my Facebook group where I do a first impression. I open the box, I try it right there live, and I was blown away like I get excited about makeup. It's fun stuff. Okay, so my favorite personally, I have oily skin. A lot of people think you can't wear creams with oily skin. I've got stuff and I want longevity out of my makeup. The Prep Mist has replaced my Milk Hydro Prep. And I like when something does more than one thing. So this is your prep and this is also your set. I prefer the plush over the fixate, but I think it's very personal. This is very similar to the Charlotte. I find this to be very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, which was pretty much my ride or die. I've even just recently, I mean, I haven't even opened it yet, but I bought a big old setting spray thing. All right. So we're going to take this setting spray. We're going to spray our face. The sprayer has gotten better. Okay. And you want to get it good and damp. It doesn't have the same scent. This has more of a, I'm so bad at smells. I don't know. It's not fruity. It's not perfumey. It's a lighter smell than the other. What's the word I'm looking for? So Saint Setting Spray has kind of a pina colada scent to it. This one's more of a powdery scent, but it adds this, I don't even know. It's so good. I spray the dickens out of my face with it. It's so good. But I like that it gets on my skin and I can feel it in a way that it's gonna hold my makeup. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like there's a film on it, but in a good way. I don't know. All right, so I'm of an age. We've established that I look between 28 and 60 today. No, does this every time. Okay, so somebody must have been trying to get a hold of me. It happens every time. Okay, before we restart, how's my Zoom? Because now my Zoom's gonna be off. And I tell people between 8 and 10, don't call me here. And you know, I put it on Do Not Disturb, so that tells them I should call back. No. How's my Zoom? Am I zoomed in okay to where you can see? I tried to keep it cropped to being just around kind of my face with a little bit of my shirt. So if somebody could pop on and be like, the Zoom is fine, move on, that would be wonderful. Bring it in. Thank you. How's that? I like when you can see my stuff. Okay. I love this shirt. It's a great shirt. It's my favorite. Too far out. Perfect. Okay. Zoom in is great. Okay, thank you. One of the things I pride myself on is I don't hide my skin. I don't use filters. I will zoom in and let you see the stuff. I've got fine lines. I've got wrinkles around my eyes. Like my under eyes are crepey naturally. I have my crow's feet. I have them and I like to zoom in so you can see my pores because I want you to see makeup will look like makeup. Your texture will always be there. But your makeup doesn't have to accentuate your pores, your fine lines, your crepiness. Like they're there, they're not going anywhere, but we don't have to accentuate them, but we can work with them. Okay. I'm also not gonna cake my makeup on. I love those videos. Like when they put, I don't know how they porcelain skin their skin. It's probably a filter, but they're fun to watch. But my skin don't look like that. This hairstyle, this is called, I didn't want to wash my hair again. So thanks. All right, we're gonna get in. I put my setting spray on. I love this stuff. It's coming out on Thursday. So when Thursday comes out, for me, I am gonna get another one of the plush, and I'm also going to be using this new powder. This is the, what's it called? Feather blotting powder. Oh, feather blotting dust. And this stuff is so good. I'm trying to get you to see the texture of it. It looks like a normal powder, a dry powder, but then when you rub on it, it's crazy soft, but it has a metallic-y looking shimmer to it. It doesn't go on that way. You're not gonna, it's so good. It goes on and your skin feels soft, but not powdery. It's so weird, but I love it. So I'll be getting some more of those because I like having a little palette, a little quad palette with 2 in there because I use the heck out of it. But I don't have to touch up my makeup all day. My makeup wears and and it wears a little differently, but I did just do a video, and I think I put it on here, where I use it. Okay, the difference between the powders. So my makeup wore, and I think at the end of the video I show fresh, midday, end of day, after dinner. And I didn't do any touching up, and there is wear to my makeup, but I mean, when I'm about to go wash my face, who cares what it looks like at that point? But midday was a big one for me. Okay, the difference in the powders. I need to try to find the powder. Where is it? Okay, so we have vanilla dust, and it's a nice finely milled, well setting powder. I really love this setting powder. It is very good. Okay. Makeup is personal, and I'm going to say this again because you keep popping on and saying things like that. Makeup is personal, and we're not wearing it for anybody else. We're not wearing it for you boys. We're wearing it for us. Makeup is personal to us. It's ours. It's what makes us feel confident, and confidence wears better than anything. And that's it. The way you wear your makeup, whether it's natural or bold or whatever, is personal to us. So it's not for the boys. It's for us. Just got to say that. At least it is for me. I wear it for me. Okay, so the difference between the powders. So this is the vanilla dust. It's well milled, but it will add a touch of texture. It's sheer. It goes on very well. I use a fluffy brush, and I work from the outside in because I will not apply it with one of these poofs, and I won't rub onto it, and I won't apply it onto my texture because it will add texture. It will change the consistency of my makeup. It will accentuate pores. So for me, if you're using vanilla dust, which again, I mean, I use the shit out of this stuff. I use a fluffy brush. I go on, I tap it into the bristles, and I go from the outside in. It's a really good product. I'm very oily, and I go from dewy to greasy super quick. And I really like this new blotting dust because I can put it onto my high oil areas, which are also a high texture area. I do use skincare. Saint has a great skincare line, and it's a good one. I think skincare is also super, super personal, and it just depends on your skin type and finding a skin product that works for you. I use Beauty Society. I don't sell it. I just use it. And I have found that my skin feels better. My stuff is still here. I did not get rid of any of my stuff. And I don't think there's a topical you can really use that's going to truly get rid of it. But the way my skin feels is better, but also the longevity of my makeup with my skincare, using it morning and night, has been better. So yes, skincare, makeup is skincare. I do not use the Ordinary series or Elephant products. No, I've tried them. The way my skin reacted to the Beauty Society, I've never had my skin react to that way. And that's where I feel like you know when you're in the right skincare realm, is when your skin reacts positively to it. I have hormonal skin, like most people do, but I really like the way my skin feels and the way my makeup lasts using the skincare. And then adding the blotting powder has just kind of like been a perfect harmony. Okay, let's get into the makeup. Minimalist with coverage here. So I'm using my Saint makeup. Okay. And I will say everything in here is foundational coverage. It's just what kind of finish do you want? And if you want it to be more punchy, then you just need to punch up a contour and your blush. Okay. My skin is quite oily too, especially on my nose. If I'm too much of a face toucher, my chin and my nose, makeup will come off because I'm a face toucher. And so you have to play that into it and take a little bit of accountability, which I do. But using the blotting powder has helped me a lot. Okay, so Saint is 80% pigmentation. Everything in here is foundation. Even this color is foundational coverage. This guy right here helps me with my scarring that's on the apples of my cheeks so that I can wear a punchier blush like this. My contour is cedar. If you like things to be a little more subtle, then you can, but you still want it to work with, say, hyperpigmentation and scarring. Stone, ash, all of our other great lighter options, okay? I'm not gonna be using any bronzer today, and okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna be using the 3D brush today. I think it's a great one and done brush. I would recommend this because it does come in a collection with bronzer if you want bronzer, but today we're using the 3D brush. It's a fan favorite. It's really good. I kind of want to clean this end really quick so we can just, I've already gone longer than I wanted to. I have a goal. It's Monday, which means the house is a wreck. Any donations of those victims of the hurricane? I don't think that they've done anything for the victims of the hurricane, but I do know there are artists that are doing that on their own. I don't know which ones, but there are. There, clean brush. If you haven't gotten this, you should get this. Thursday's a really good day to go by because that's when the releases are coming out with the blotting powder and the new setting sprays. And you can get yourself that brush cleanser if you're running out. Okay. One question you have is makeup damages skin, so why girls wear it? Makeup doesn't damage skin. Skincare, bad skincare, picking damages skin. Being in the sun and not wearing SPF damages skin. And yeah. All right, so my brush is clean and it's ready to use. Skincare, skincare, skincare. It's not the makeup. It can be. I mean, I used to get cystic acne because of bad skincare. I didn't double cleanse and I was using a makeup that set and didn't move, which meant my skin wasn't breathing. And then when I would get a breakout, I would take that same makeup that was very setting and I would pack it into my breakouts that I also picked. Picking, I mean, we know as kids, you pick a scab, it's gonna scar. So if you're picking your zits, it's gonna scar. And when I was a teenager and in my 20s, I was a picker, and that's just what it is. So it's not always proven by dermatologists. It really just depends if you're taking care of your skin and using the right products. I mean, there's bad things out there. Makeup didn't do anything bad to my skin. I did. And I'm gonna end that debate. But we're gonna go in, the first color I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna use the shorter end of the 3D brush, and I'm gonna go into my contour, which is cedar, and I'm gonna use this as coverage and as a base. The contour is a little bit different of a consistency, and it is gonna be more dense, and it's because it's not supposed to be as creamy because it's supposed to be blended in an area rather than moved around the way that your foundation colors are going to be. So it's a bit denser, but it's gonna hold that makeup right there. So I'm gonna go into my cedar first. I'm gonna pinch this just to get into the chin good. And I'm going to first, I'm just gonna go around the perimeter. So I have no makeup up here on my face. Our skin has natural dimension and we use that dimension as our guide. I've got reflecting light here, shadow tones here, and then my skin tone. And so I'm gonna add my contour to my shadow tone. So I'm going across the hairline and then I'm just gonna bring it down. And it gives me that same tone. I'm working with the tones that are already there, but it's going to give me some coverage over the hyperpigmentation I have in this area. It's a similar tone. That's why I say if you have hyperpigmentation, cedar, stone, ash, olive are great options because it is similar and camouflaging. So I'm able to add it to those little contour areas that are naturally there, okay? And so we're just gonna go and we're gonna work our way around. In the middle of my forehead, I have a light. I have my ring light. I've got my big old window right here. And we can pop this on and we're gonna take a similar tone. So I'm gonna go into my brightening highlight. Okay. Protect with, okay, keep it simple and makeup shouldn't damage skin. Yes. Okay, we're gonna go in on the pointy end. I'm gonna go into this brightening highlight. I have my main highlight. This is my truest tone to my skin right now, and then one that's a little bit lighter. And that's gonna work with the reflecting light. So I'm gonna grab white peach, is the color I'm using. We're gonna go right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna pull this over my brows. This is why I do my brows last. And then I'm going to blend this out. We're gonna pull that out towards that contour just to blur the line. And as that dark contour meets that light brightening, they will come together and they're gonna give you balance, coverage, and dimension. And it's just 2 products. And it gives, but I have a nice forehead. I don't get a lot of breakouts on my forehead. So there's that to take into consideration too. So I don't need a lot of help here. I do need a lot of help here because I have hyperpigmentation just from being out in the sun a lot. This one popped up when I was pregnant with one of my babies. And then I have hormonal breakouts and I have acne scarring and I got a touch of rosacea. Broken capillaries. I got stuff. I've got darkness under my eyes. I got stuff. and stuff happens. This didn't come from makeup. This didn't come from makeup. It is my skin. My skin is my skin is my skin. All right. We're going to go in and I'm going to work with this area right here. I want to give camouflaging to my hyperpigmentation. I want to mute down some of this redness right here. So I'm going to go into that contour first. I don't like the mark. I like marking up my face and blending it all together. It's not ideal. Truly not ideal. It's really just something to show, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can anything. You can wear leggings as pants if you want to. Doesn't mean everybody should. Like me, I should not wear leggings as pants. I don't have the right backside for it. So I'm just gonna build up that contour and I'm gonna go, I have my natural shadowing. We're gonna stay above it. If you're confused about where a contour goes, try placing it kind of like a blush. I'm gonna use this as a camouflager, pulling my little hairs out of the way. And I'm gonna go kind of around. I'm not gonna go in here. This is where the natural hollow is. I'm gonna stay above it, which is right where that hyperpigmentation is. And I'm gonna cover it, all right? I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing. And I like to under blend and over apply on this area because I do want my contour to show when I put my makeup on, and I bring it up to my temple. Okay, I'm gonna smile so I can see the shape of my cheek because, again, I'm of an age. I love, or if it is expired, that is a big one. That's why I don't grab my old, I used to, when I first started doing this, I used to get my old makeup and do my makeup with my old routine. I can't because it's expired, and boy howdy, my skin would be like, what are you doing? And so I can't, but I do tutorials with traditional makeup. I have this one that I'm gonna be trying this week. This is the Tarte Hydroflex foundation. It sounds very watery. I'm not holding out much hope for that, but one of my top picks for traditional makeup is this Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. I have tried a matte finish. Somebody recommended this one. It just wasn't for me. It's a good product for the price. It was 10 bucks off of Amazon, but the finish just wasn't for me. Okay. I'm 43. I have a son who's 23. And I've had people think he was my boyfriend. That was awful. They were like, oh, is this your boyfriend? No, ew, gross, no. Mm-mm. Anyways, so I get it. All right, so I'm just adding this on and I'm slowly tapping this over my redness and my scarring and letting the minimal amount that is on my brush mute my redness, and it's with my contour. I'm not gonna worry about this. This is in a foundation zone. I'm not applying contour this low. It'll pull my whole face down, but my foundation will cover this, and then I wait to the end to see if I need to play with it, okay? All right, I am going to pinch and stamp into my contour, and I'm going to do my nose next because I feel like my nose and my under eyes need to be done. My nose has to be done before I do my under eyes. And so I just tap on the side. Don't worry if it's overdone. This is creams and they are all super forgiving and blendable. But I always focus it on my brow bone where it naturally goes, and I overcorrect because I have a bump on my nose. All right. There we go. And it's always a little extra because I'm gonna be blending it down when I bring in my under eyes. And then I'm gonna take this little end, the pointy end, we're gonna tap into our white peach, brightening, and we're gonna go right down the middle. And then I'm gonna use my finger. The brush always makes it too wide, so I just tap it out with my finger, bring it up, bring it down, and this straightens out my nose. And then I could just use my finger and tap out a little extra on the tip. But I prefer having the luminosity of a good cream more than I do. I'm just gonna blend down right here. I feel like it got a little out of hand. I prefer the luminosity of a cream because it does have a dewy finish over using a shimmer. If I am gonna use a shimmer, I will underpaint it. I don't think it plays a big part in it. And I don't think it makes it look extra shimmery. Truly, I don't think it makes a huge difference. But I think the texture of your skin with a cream makeup can play really well together. All right, now that I've got the contour on and I have this somewhat camouflaged, I have my redness muted down and it's where I want it. But again, if you're confused on where a contour goes, I just apply this kind of like a blush or a bronzer. It doesn't need to be overthought. And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna stay with this little denser and I'm gonna go into amber, which is my main highlight. This is a bit creamier than the contour. All right, and I'm gonna start on my little pimple here, and then I am going to even out my skin tone down here. And then I'm gonna pull this down. One of the things people miss when there's three things. I was just talking to another friend of mine that does this. When you're applying your makeup, blend that eyeshadow, work on that mascara, and bring your makeup down past your jawline. What you can end up doing is adding an orange mark right here, and nobody wants that. All right, so I'm using my main highlight just to even things out. You see how it's just a nice even skin tone right here? I'm gonna clean up a little bit of contour. I'm gonna go over my scarring and give myself some coverage on my scarring. My biggest insecurity is my scarring. And so I work on that a lot. And then I bring it around the outside of my mouth and then down my neck. And then it takes it from this to this. And it's a nice light amount of makeup. It doesn't have a it doesn't have crazy makeup texture. Makeup will always look like makeup. Don't get fooled. But it should look like good makeup. And it shouldn't have to be heavy and thick and chalky. And that's one of the things that I struggled with my old makeup, was that it made my skin fall flat. It was why I was always trying another makeup. And it was because I had people tell me, sometimes when you do your makeup, it makes you look older. I get that, and it was my foundation. It was that mattifying setting makeup that accentuated some of my stuff. I would add on my Tarte concealer, and then I would bake it with a good loose powder. But I wanted a makeup. I need to fix my contour. I went a little too high. Oh, the absence of a husband. All right, so there we go. So I added my main highlight, and it just is easy and tweakable. And then again, pulling this down the jaw. And after I do that, I'm going to go into a little more contour, and I'm just going to go right here and down. Right here and down. This just adds a little shadow, and it cleans up the back of the jaw. This is one of those steps I really like, but it's not always totally necessary. But I like it, and that's all that matters. Okay, we're going to go in, and so we've given ourselves that coverage. The scarring, the hyperpigmentation, the rosacea is minimized. It's crazy minimized, and then I can go in and I can do the blush that I like. All right, we're gonna take that point in, we're gonna grab just a little bit of brightening, and I'm gonna go right here where natural light reflects, and we're gonna accentuate this little area. I want a little more right there because why not? And you can blend it out, tap it out, it's whatever you want. But natural light reflects off of the chin, and then this area is just pretty. And if you put a little highlighter on it, it's so nice. Okay, I'm gonna use my Frenchie color, and I'm gonna use Rosewood. It's a beautiful fall blush. These two together work really well, but again, my scarring is my biggest insecurity. Everybody has one, it's okay. I was just talking to my daughter about insecurities last night. All right, so I'm gonna take Frenchie, and I'm actually gonna do balm really quick. So I'm gonna grab some balm, and I'm gonna put this under my eyes. Balm helps me with my crepiness. I have naturally crepey under eyes, especially when I'm smiling, and I smile a lot. And this helps me with my makeup not looking cakey and crepey. Okay, so I just add a little bit of balm. It's thin, it's really nice, and it changes it. I'm gonna take my Frenchie color. It's a really pretty peach tone. I'm gonna tap this under my eye and into that corner, and then I'm gonna thin it out into that balm, and it reduces the darkness. So grabbing it, tapping it onto my darkness, and then thinning it into the balm. And it turns it a bit peachy, but it took away that bluish darkness, okay? I'm grabbing some more of the Frenchie, and I'm gonna smile, and right over my scarring, I'm gonna tap that Frenchie on, and it's gonna be a part of my blush. But as you mature, you lose volume in your cheeks, especially those apples. And so I don't like to bring my blush all the way down around my apples, because when I'm resting, there's no definition. All right. And so I use Frenchie as a way to hide my scarring, but I'm still able to have that blush look. All right, I'm gonna grab Rosewood. We're gonna bring that up top. Bringing that up top. I love this color. It is a nice pinky orange. It's a debate. if it's pinky orange. Everybody it pulls a little bit differently on, but this is a good warm tone, and that's why I'm not using bronzer today. If I'm using rosewood, I really don't need bronzer. I'm gonna take this short end of that 3D brush, and I'm gonna smirkish smile so that I get definition right here. I'm gonna blend that out and bring it up the temple, and then once it's blended where I want, I'm gonna bring it down to that Frenchie, just a little bit. And then my scarring doesn't pull through, but I still have that blush color that I like. So I bring it up my temple, smiling, and then bring it down to that Frenchie really quick. But I really, rosewood is one of my favorite colors. I love it. It's fall now, so I feel like I can use it. Okay, under eyes. Now that I've got all of my makeup on, I will do my under eyes because this sometimes gets a little high, but less is more with your under eyes. If you don't have a blend brush, get one. It's perfect for under eyes because your under eyes need very little product. That's why I added the balm and I did my corrector, so I don't need a lot of brightening. Now there are two ways you can do this. There's some people who like demi. I'm not a big demi person. It's just not for me. I like it. I will use it on certain people. I prefer Frenchie. I like something that does more than one thing. It's gonna be, this color is gonna be my lip color and it's gonna look totally different. So we're gonna take the blend brush. We're gonna use the small end. And I'm gonna try to, you guys gotta help me on the Zoom because again, we got interrupted like I always do, but the under eyes are such a big deal for me. It's such a big deal for me because you can easily over accentuate your crow's feet, your fine lines. Like I have them, everybody has this trough. There's nothing you can do about it, but you could still get coverage without accentuating your texture. Your texture is going to be there. You can't get rid of it, but we don't have to accentuate it. And this is for the makeup girls out there that get it. Now you can use your main highlight or you can use a brightening highlight. It's whatever you want out of your makeup. I would say if you have very mature under eyes, go for the main highlight, and then you can do a spotlight color. And all that means is you would take a brightening and just pop it right on that inner corner. I'm gonna use a brightening because I like it. And same method, whether you're using a main highlight or a brightening highlight. I'm gonna use the small end of the blend brush. We're just gonna tap on. And then when we smile, you see this natural shine that we get. That's our guide. Your tones are there. Use them as your guide. This is kind of like a paint by numbers. And so when you smile, you get this little shine bucket, and we're going to fill the bucket. And we just put it right in the bucket. Okay? And so we're going to go in right here, and we're going to bring this up here and into the inner corner first. Okay? The last place I want to put it is this little, I call it the hammock of the eye, because you've got your orbital bone, you got your eyeball, and then you got this loose, soft tissue. That's where it can easily get accentuated. Okay, we're gonna grab a little touch more, and I'm just gonna clean up right here. We're gonna pull up to give our eye a little bit of lift, and I'm gonna blend it down that orbital. I'm going around my puffiness, okay? Everybody has that puffiness. I'm gonna soften right here with the fluffy end. We're going up into that corner, blending it down, and then we bring it up and onto that soft tissue. You want the thinnest amount on that soft tissue. If you have naturally crepey under eyes like I do, the texture is still there. We're just not accentuating it. NARS brightener, you know who else? Becca has a really beautiful brightener also. You don't put it on the puffy part. Yeah. Concealer. If you're using a concealer, I've done this with Tarte. I feel Saint gives better coverage because it's more pigmented than Tarte. A lot of people don't think so, but it is more pigmented than Tarte. Take our balm, put that on, and then use Tarte, and it'll help reduce the crepiness that Tarte can sometimes leave. And that's the creamy Tarte. But I have done a side-by-side, and I just felt like my under eye darkness pulled through halfway through the day when I used Tarte, and it didn't with my Saint. But that's using the brightener and and then you could just tap over, pick up any excess, and that's it. All right, I'm going in on the other side, and we're just gonna go in. Again, there's that little happy bucket. We fill it, and we're gonna come up and into that inner corner. Okay, just focusing on that inner corner, giving it the coverage, covering up that peachy tone, and then softening it, grabbing a little more. We're gonna clean up right here, And then we're coming down that orbital bone and then going to the soft tissue last. Easy. It's easy. It taps out seamlessly. These all work together too, and everything's in one place. Now I talk a lot and I get off on tangents, especially if somebody tells me I need to smile more. I hate that. Somebody does. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna pop on a quick brow and then we're gonna set this. And I'm gonna show this new powder zoomed in on my texture because it's so good. All right, my brows, I use eyeshadow. I talk about this a lot, but I just draw them on. I like a good structured brow. I never feel like my best self when I just fill in a little bit, but I pull my, I add brow. But I try not to do a lot of talking. If I do my brows first as I'm applying my makeup, it just biffs them up and messes them up. And I hate that. But the brows can be easy. It's just finding the shape that you want and the color that you want. And they go on easy. I like a good structured brow. I think it finishes the eye. All right, so we're just gonna do, all I do is I go on this inner corner and I draw a hard line. We go up and over and I extend my tail by quite a bit. And then I go a quarter of the way in on the top and I draw another hard line following my arch. If you have really thin brows, they have those brow stencils. Get one and stencil those puppies on. Goes super quick. Filling it in from the bottom hard line and the top one. And I just grab as I go. I'm gonna flick in the front here and I'm just gonna add a little hair flick and blending it in. Grab my brush. I don't always use my brow wax. I don't always, but there's my brows. That was easy, right? Okay, let's add a lip so that we can set this makeup. I'm gonna do my shadow trick. Just add a little shadow with my contour on the top and the bottom. And then you could even go right here. And it just makes it so pretty, okay? And then I just add a little contrast, a little cleanup on the outsides. Easy peasy. And then we're gonna take a multitasker brush. Do I have one out? I thought I did. There it is. I'm gonna use Rosewood as my lip liner, which is on my cheeks. Okay. And I'm gonna line my lips with Rosewood. Easy, easy, easy. And I don't go all the way to my corners, but you can easily have everything in one little palette and still get the coverage you like. I mean, I use Aspen, Suede as correctors, and some people don't want all that. You can easily do this with your contour like I did today. So you can have a good amount of coverage, however you want. That's it. All right, now I'm gonna take that Frenchy color that I put under my eyes and on my apples, and I'm gonna put that right here on my lip. And it's my lip color with Rosewood. It's so pretty. And then you can deepen it if you need to deepen it. But look at how pretty. This is such a pretty fall. Go into the pumpkin patch. Look, so easy. Okay, let's talk about setting our makeup. I'm gonna use the blotting powder. I spray first. You could do whatever order you want, honestly. But I'm gonna take that Plush Prep Mist because something that does more than one thing. It's gonna prep it and then it sets it. Okay, get your face good and damp. That's what's nice about this makeup. It handles moisture very well. Very, very well. Get caught in the rain. You don't have to, remember how makeup, you know how makeup looks when it gets wet or when somebody cries? This makeup doesn't do that. Where it almost like, I don't know, it looks weird. Anyways, okay, let's zoom in. Am I good and zoomed where you can like see my stuff? I want you to see my skin texture, okay? And I'm gonna use the blend brush and I'm gonna use the new Feather Blotting Dust, okay? I wanna be in your face on this. A lot of artists don't do this. And if they do, there's usually a filter. There's zero filter here, okay? My skin is my skin. I don't inject anything. Like I've got stuff. I've got this line that's good and deep. I've got my like my face moves. I used to crack with my old makeup, but also I get greasy. So all this shine turns into grease pretty quick. So I'm gonna take this blotting dust, I'm going to add it to my brush. You can see it on the brush here, okay? And we're gonna go, where do we wanna go first? Let's go onto my pores. I've got pores right here, and then I've got my under eye, okay? And I'm just gonna tap it directly on. Okay, tapping it directly on the no-no zones, going right here into my no-no zone. And it's soft, okay. And I'm able to go into my crease right here. I'm able to go right here onto my textury skin. But do you see that hormonal breakout that was pretty loud? Texture's texture, okay? It's a healer. Don't worry about it. It's covered. But this isn't adding. Do you see how it has that sheen? So when you rub it, it has that sheen, but it doesn't go on super shiny, but it leaves that dewy finish while also setting your makeup. But my under eyes aren't crepey, my pores aren't accentuated and hollow looking. That's what I noticed if I did this with vanilla dust, and I'm not gonna compromise my makeup for you guys today because I got places to go and I got people to see. But when I apply that powder like I just did with the vanilla dust, it almost hollows out. It makes it look like there's a hole where my pores are, and I don't like that. So again, I can take that dust and I can pop this directly on my texture powder. We can put that directly on. So good. Easy, easy, easy. The finish of your face, the way it feels. So if you've ever worn a cream makeup, I'm having a hard time with words. It will feel that, like down here, it feels very dewy, very moisturized, very hydrated. Like you can feel, you know how your skin feels when you put lotion on? That's what this feels like here. Where I put my powder on, it's soft, but it's not thick. It doesn't look like a chalkboard. I have a hair. When I would wear my old traditional makeup, my skin, I could do math, like 2 + 2 = what, kids? You know, I mean, my skin was so chalky and dry, and it almost looked like I could probably chip off my makeup because I didn't want it to move. I wanted the coverage, but I was making a major trade-off, and that trade-off was texture. My skin is my skin. I'm not trying to look like a porcelain doll because that is a texture. Everybody can see that powder finish texture. This keeps your skin looking really nice and dewy. I'm standing behind, like, this is my #1 pick out of everything that Saint is coming out with on Thursday. I'm gonna zoom back out because we get the point, right? But I wanted to show, I like the, okay, let's see, do you like the new Plush better? I do because I didn't feel like I could use the Charlotte Tilbury as a prep. And this, I feel like I can use it as a prep. It's really nice. Like, it's interesting. It feels like you have a primer that's waiting to hold your makeup. Does that make sense? I want to show, it's just, that's one of the things that really, there's some makeup artists who I absolutely love their tutorials. I love their tutorials. But when I look at certain areas, and that's there's certain places on the skin that I like to look at to see how heavy is that makeup. And it's always around the nostrils. If it looks like a mask around the inside of a nostril on somebody's tutorial, I know they have a shit ton of makeup on. And that's just not it. That's not a go into the group. That's not, I want to show women wearing makeup for every day. I come dressed for every I want to show makeup for every day. I want to show how to wear makeup like, I would never even answer the door if I didn't have my makeup on. And starting Saint is it 4 years ago now? I think it's 4 years ago. I've been using Saint for 5 years. Sharing about Saint, and I prefer to say sharing it than selling it, because if you like it, let's do a color match, let's do the thing, let's talk about it, let's customize your palette. I love talking about it. There's never one too many questions, I promise. And I like showing makeup that gives confidence. When I started sharing about this, I had to put my skin out there, and I never, ever did that my whole life. I wouldn't go to the grocery store without makeup on. Post office, forget about it. Answer my door, sorry, no one's home. And doing this has kind of forced me to show my skin and make me feel better about it. It's grown my confidence without my makeup and made it easier, because before, 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I would let the mean comments wreck me. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes they get a little sticky. Mean is stickier than nice. But when you can find a makeup that makes you feel like your best self, like, that's why I share about it, because this is just, it's good. Makeup will always be makeup, but this is really good makeup, and I like wearing it a lot, and I like sharing about it a lot, and I like being able to help somebody who doesn't want to be full coverage but minimalize. I have essentially one layer of makeup on, and I have what looks like full coverage, but I have less makeup on than people you see wearing full coverage. I've tried the other makeups, and I have found that even the full coverage makeups, I use this one. This is it. The Catrice, I use this one. It's a full coverage mattifying water and sweat proof makeup, and it lasts up to 24 hours. That's probably gonna clog your pores. And I can tell you this, I did not feel like my skin was breathing with it, and that's why it wasn't for me. I'm also really used to my cream makeups, but I did notice that even this full coverage makeup, I put it on and then I had to put it on again. I had to let it do that, okay? And so I find that I can still have my full coverage look with less makeup on. And then in the evenings, I use a makeup melt and I wash my face with the makeup melt. I use a microfiber to wipe it all off, and then I wash my skin. I don't use the makeup removing wipes. Saint has them. I don't like them. I don't, and I always am here to tell you if there's something with Saint I don't like, I'll tell you. And for oily skin, I don't like their Fixate spray for my oily skin. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. It wasn't for me. The makeup removing wipes, they burned my eyes. I just felt they were too harsh. But you still, if you're gonna use the makeup removing wipes, you should double cleanse after that. Like, remove the makeup and then it's kind of like if you get mud and you get a baby wipe and you wipe it, or you're wiping a baby's butt, you gotta wipe it off, but then you still gotta re-wipe it again. So, like, get the stuff off, and then if you're using a makeup wipe, wash the chemicals they have in that off your skin, and then wash your skin. So it's almost a triple cleansing. So for me, I like using a good makeup wipe with a microfiber cloth. Saint's microfibers are so nice because they have a side that's a little more gritty for getting the makeup off, and then the other side is really soft for when you wash your face and then you wipe it off. I like using a microfiber over splashing my face. I feel like it gets it all off, and you can really rub and grind into it, especially in this. This is the area that gets missed by a lot of people. If you notice you're getting a lot more breakouts in this area, it's because you're bringing your makeup down and then you're not washing back here. So when you're washing your face, get those thumbs buckler and get going. So skincare is huge, but makeup is a part of skincare, and that's why finding a good quality makeup with less ingredients in it is really good. So that's been a big topic today, is makeup skincare. Yeah, you can put some really crappy makeup on your skin, but you can also put some really good makeup on your skin. Okay, that's it. Today was a lovely, lovely live. I love coming and doing these. Every Monday I will be back. I will have other tutorials coming out this week showing Spell, the October shade of the month, in different ways. So today it is Spell with Claire and Moscow. Super pretty. Used a pink instead of an orange as my transition color. Who am I don't know. But I will be having tutorials coming out throughout the week showing minimalistic makeup. It's already been made, but I like doing one big video on Monday, and then little videos are going to trickle out throughout the week. So I will see you guys live next Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Please subscribe. Please hang out. This was fun, and have a great day.